Welcome to this edition of DIY3DTech.com. In this episode we're going to be starting a new project. So I've pretty much had it with Corel Draw, or not Corel Draw, sorry, Corel Laser and Laser Draw and that. So I am going to change the brains of this. So I am going to replace this proprietary board with the control board from the 2-watt laser that I built running GRBL. So here's the board, and I've taken it out of the other unit. And one of the reasons I'm sort of going this route is this one's already set up and I already know the pins and everything for triggering the laser. So what I'm going to need to do is identify most of the pins here. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the one with the big side on it up here. I've got the one with the digital display, and this board is actually tucked up inside there, and it's kind of hard to get at. The only positive thing is I've got a ton of wire to work with. The negative is going to be trying to get this back in there or mount it back in there, because I'm going to have to change some of the holes. However, I'll cross that road when I come to it, I guess. However, what we do have here is on this board, we have up here, we have our limit switches or end stops. We have our power, which is 24 volts and 5 volts coming into here. And then we have our two stepper motors. Now I believe one of these, this end one is the laser trigger. When this one goes low, I believe it fires the laser. So it doesn't pulse width modulate the laser. The laser is either on or it's off depending upon what it's set at on the indicator up here. Now there's a separate circuit board up inside here that drives the percentage, which does not appear to be integrated with this at all. So got my fingers crossed, at least that's what it's looked like online. And there's no logic that appears to come back here other than this low line, which comes back to the power supply and really toggles the power supply on or off. So most of that's, I believe, right in here. And this control board, which is underneath there, is only setting sort of the pulse width modulation, or current, if you will, because I am going to add a current meter, and you've probably seen that already in another video, so I'm going to cut a hole up here for that. So anyways, sort of just want to introduce the project as I go along. So what I'm going to do is, it's not clear which stepper goes to, or which wire goes to which stepper, so I'm going to have to sort that out. It is well labeled though what wires go to which limit switches, so that's actually good, and it's also clear which are low, which are power. So most of this is pretty well labeled, so I don't see a big problem, knock on wood, in making the changes. I probably will have to change the connectors to plug them into the DuPont connectors on here, so that's going to be a bit of work, but I should be able to get it all running actually outside of the chassis. Now this runs on anywhere from 12 to 36 volts. This runs the motor at 24 volts, so we won't have a problem there. This should work out okay in doing the conversion. And then, like I say, I'm going to get all this working, and then we'll see about tucking it all back in and seeing how it all works. So, you know, again, I'm hoping, because one of the big issues I'm having with this is I don't mind the dongle and everything. However, I don't get, this just acts weird, so I don't get some repeatability. If you saw in the last video, or a couple videos ago, where I cut the rubber, you know, I told it just to keep cutting that circle and to restart, but it would restart in different spots. And so anyways, I think it's got to do with the board and logic. Sometimes it works, sometimes it wouldn't, and there's no mechanical reason it shouldn't work. So I've come to determine it's simply a software thing. So best just to do away with this and go with good old G-code. So I will have to do probably some adjusting to get it to do engraving. I don't do a lot of engraving. I really want this to cut acrylic, so that's why I'm not worried about it. And again, I think with this and using G-code, it's much more suited to task than utilizing a graphics program. However, you do or will need to have a CAM post processor to, you know, work with things, and I'm okay with that, because I'll just write a post processor like I did for the 2-watt laser, or, you know, for my CNC machine. It's not a big deal. So anyways, just kind of want to introduce the project, what I'm going to do. So if you have one of these and you're wondering about it, follow along. Some of the big things I have to figure out are you know, the electronics part is actually pretty simple. I don't expect, again, knock on wood, too much problems with that. I'm still searching on the internet for the settings, the GRBL settings, you know, in other words, steps per millimeter and all that kind of stuff. So, because I know a couple other folks on some of the laser boards did it, so I'm gonna look around and see if I can't find that, and hopefully I will. And once I do, I'll document it, both in the video as I make this change, and I'll show you how to set up GRBL on this machine. So, anyways, hopefully you enjoy this series. Please give it a thumbs up if you're interested in it. It helps me out, and then also subscribe to the channel because a lot more coming. I'm going to do this as a couple part series again as I go through this, and so my next step is to sort all this wiring out. Then I'll come back, wire this up, and then I'll do another video with this all wired up showing how I did it. So anyways, thumbs up, cheers, see you in the next video.
Click like below and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date on all of our projects.